Welcome to BootSpy. My name's William, and in today's video, I'm going to be comparing the 3 Thursday Chelsea boots. So I've got the Duke, the Cavalier, and the Legend. By the end of this video, if you're on the fence or you're thinking about getting a pair of Thursday Chelsea boots, you're going to know exactly which one of these styles is right for you. So let's start off by talking about the style. So the Thursday Duke is Thursday's first Chelsea boot. It's one of the first boots they released when they started as a brand. And to me, it's an everyday Chelsea boot. There's a few reasons for that. Mainly, it's got a rubber studded sole. It's got the 360-degree Goodyear welt. It's got a pretty simple elastic gore, nice little piece of leather right here. And then it comes in 3 suede options and 3 full grain options. Here you can see what it looks like when I'm wearing it, just around town. We also have the Thursday Cavalier. So this is slimmer, sleeker. Your foot looks a little bit longer in this one. It also sits lower to the ground because there's just less material in the sole here. There are 4 suede options for the Thursday Cavalier and 2 full grain options. I really like the Thursday Cavalier in the black full grain. I think when you're looking for a dress Chelsea, and I'll kind of talk about this more a little bit later, but the Cavalier is the closest to a dress boot Chelsea that you can find. And so for that, I would go with a full grain leather. And I particularly think the black full grain leather is the best choice for the Thursday Scout. I have it here in the shadow gray suede, weather safe suede. I really like this one as well. I think it looks fantastic with a pair of jeans, a black pair of jeans. It is definitely more dressy than the Duke. Thursday also recently released the Legend, and this has got the Storm King outsole on top of something that's kind of like a hybrid between the Cavalier and the Duke in terms of the upper and how it all comes together. But this is definitely way more casual than both the Duke and the Cavalier. Of course, there's no like leather midsole or anything like that. It is just that huge Storm King outsole. So this is a great winter Chelsea boot. If you're thinking about getting something you're wearing in the snow or the rain or anything like that. Every single option, I think there's 5 different leather options at the time of filming this. They're all rugged and resilient leathers, and those hold up really, really well. You could definitely wear this in a rainstorm if you wanted to, especially with the heavy lug sole. As for the leather quality, I kind of already spoke about this a little bit, but Thursday's leathers, they do a really good job at having a consistent line of leathers all the way throughout, either their captains, presidents, like any type of Thursday boot, they generally have the same types of leathers. Now there is one important thing to note about that. Like I said, the Thursday Legend, it only comes in rugged and resilient leathers. And then for the Cavalier and the Duke, those don't come in rugged and resilient leathers. You can either get full grain leathers or they're weather safe suede. So those are kind of, you know, that's a little bit of trade-off. Like you won't be able to find a rugged and resilient Duke or Cavalier. But if you want a rugged and resilient leather, that's all in the Legend. As for Thursday's leather quality overall, I can kind of speak to it versus other brands. Thursday, they're not very like showy. They don't use, you know, really iconic leathers like Horween Chrome Excel on most of their boots. They do have some boots like the Vanguard with Horween Chrome Excel, but generally speaking, they don't use like the most flashy leathers, but their leathers are all very, very versatile. So you can choose a Thursday boot to wear as an everyday type of boot. Even with something like the Thursday Duke, this honey suede right here, you think, oh, can I wear this out in the rain? It's a weather safe suede, so you actually could, if you were caught in a rainstorm, it would not damage these boots. You could just brush them right off and they'd look as good as new. And that's true of all Thursday boots, whether it's the Captain, whether it's rugged resilient leather, whether it's weather safe suede or any of their other full grain leathers. That versatility is true for all Thursday leathers. I think that's something that they prize a lot, is just the idea that you don't need to wear a certain boot on a rainy day versus a sunny day or whatever. You can just keep wearing the same pair of boots. You can wear it 4 or 5 times a week, beat them up, wear them down. And with a pair of Thursday boots, their leather, that's how they design their leather, specifically so that you can wear it every single day. The biggest difference when it comes to these boots is in the sole. So I'll start with the Duke and talk about that a little bit. It has the rubber studded sole that you see on so many different Thursday boots. It has a Dura EVA comfort strip in the middle. It's the only one of these that has that. And it also has the cork midsole, that layer of cork in there. Now, I actually took apart my pair of Captains. The cork isn't the highest quality, but it still does a good job at kind of when you wear it for a while, your foot sinks into it, feels a little more comfortable over time. But there's also, with the pour-on insole, you're never gonna have to worry about comfort with a pair of Thursday boots. They feel really, really comfortable straight out of the box, but then they also break in a little bit more and get more comfortable over time as well. Cavalier, on the other hand, this has the leather outsole with the rubber studs and the pour-on insole. So this is also very comfortable compared to the Duke, less comfortable. It doesn't have the Dura EVA comfort strip. And it's also just, you know, you have the rubber studded sole on the outside of the Duke, and that just adds a little bit more squishiness, more squish factor than the leather. A leather sole, it's gonna feel harder when you're walking on it, but I still would never, like compared to, I've had some very uncomfortable boots in my closet, and Thursday Cavalier is not one of them. I've happily walked 3, 4, 5, 6 miles in a pair of Cavaliers. I've done it before, and my feet are just like slightly sore, not that bad. However, between these two, I say the Duke is more of the everyday because the sole, one of the biggest differences on the Duke, you get about a 1 centimeter top lift, which is that little rubber heel cap, whereas on the Cavalier, it's 5 millimeters. So the Cavalier's top lift is about half the size of the Duke, and that's usually the first thing to wear out. Now, if you're worried about your soles wearing out anytime soon, then you do have the Legend. This is the obvious one to go with if you're worried about the heel wearing out. This is like what, 1.5 inches or something like that of rubber. It's never gonna go away. This is great. So the Legend has the Storm King outsole. It's a heavy rubber lug sole that's designed specifically for Thursday. This has pretty decent traction, definitely more traction than the leather sole and the rubber studded sole, especially in the rain. I would not go with leather in the rain. That can get messed up pretty quickly. Whereas the Duke, that rubber studded sole, that'll handle some rainstorms, but this is definitely like a winter boot, and it also just looks really cool. If you're checking out the heavy teeth on the rubber lug sole, like that just has a very unique, very cool look to it. So this is partially for style, but also makes it a lot better in weather. The Legend also has the pour-on insole and the cork midsole. So all three of these boots, super comfortable on the sole, but in terms of overall durability, the Legend's gonna be the most durable in the sole. The Duke is going to be the second most durable and definitely an everyday boot. Whereas the Cavalier, I wouldn't always wear this as an everyday boot, but if you want something for show, if you want something for a couple dressier outfits, or you wanna wear it a couple times a week, then the Cavalier would be a good option for that. But just note that it does have a much thinner top lift, which is that rubber piece over the heel. So which one of the Thursday Chelsea boots is my favorite? For me, I like all of them. I wear them all in different situations, but my favorite Thursday Chelsea boot has to be the Duke. And the reason why I choose the Duke is it's so versatile. It goes with pretty much everything. I love the honey suede, but you know, you can find different leathers in these other boots as well. But to me, this is like the everyday Chelsea that I was looking for so long. There are a few key things that I really love about the Duke and makes it my favorite Thursday Chelsea for sure. So one, it's really comfortable out of the box. I love that it has a Dura EVA comfort strip. So again, if you're walking for 3, 4, 5 miles a day, if you're regularly walking a decent amount, then that is going to help save the bottom of your feet. It's gonna help save your knees a little bit. Definitely, if you're putting in miles throughout a week, this is gonna help you out a ton. I love that the weather safe suede up there, it is so easy to clean. It doesn't get dirty. It really doesn't get affected too much by water. It doesn't get affected too much by snow, unless you're like standing in snow. So, you know, don't go looking for puddles with this, but it's not gonna get hurt if you happen to get caught in a rainstorm or anything like that. I like that it has the leather stacked heel. And then I also like the fact that it has a 1 centimeter top lift. That gives you a decent amount of time before you have to get that heel part replaced. It's a cheap operation to get it done, but with 1 centimeter, basically you get a little bit of time. You can wear this for about a year, year and a half if you're wearing it every day before you have to get that repaired. Just make sure you don't ever bite into the leather. If you start wearing down the leather, that becomes a bigger process, a more expensive process to repair your boots from there. I also really like the studded sole. I think it's lower profile. I do like the rubber lug sole on the Legend, but to me, this is just a little slimmer, more like casual style. It's not so like in your face or rugged or anything like that. So I like that a little bit more. I think it goes with my personal style a bit better. Like I said, the Cavalier, I would wear this in dressy situations or something a little more formal, and I would choose the black full grain leather. And then I also like the Legend on snow days, when it's raining outside, when I just want to throw on a good looking pair of boots, but not really worry about getting them wet or soaking them through or anything like that, then the Thursday Legend is a perfect boot for that. You can see me rank all my favorite Thursday boots right here, and you can also check out some of my favorite Thursday reviews popping up on the screen right now. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, put your best boot forward.